A memorial service for Altanbek Sarsimbayev was held yesterday in Almaty. 4 years have passed since the assassination of the oppositional politician and his two assistants, driver Vasily Zhuravlev and bodyguard Baudjan Baybosin. On February 13, 2006, 3 bodies were found just outside Almaty. According to the investigation, Sarsimbayev and his 2 assistants were shot in the back, and then their bodies were brought to the mountains. The official investigator found the perpetrators of the crime. Police officer Rustam Ibragimov and members of the Special Forces team Arestan of the National Security Committee were accused of kidnapping Sarsimbayev. Yerzhan Utimbayev, the former Senate Chief of Staff, was convicted as the commissioner of the killing. However, colleagues and associates of Sarsimbayev still do not trust the investigation results. We do not believe the trial and court's decision. We also do not believe that people who obviously couldn't have done this were officially named the commissioners and executors of this crime. Altanbek was a very strong and remarkable person. Authorities feared him, Astana feared him, and everyone around authority figures feared him. Law enforcement agencies have also drawn criticism for their efforts investigating the murder of journalist Sayat Shulimbayev. His family is surprised that the investigation of the double murder is taking more than 2 months in the city of national status. Meanwhile, the police itself can be blamed for the abundance of rumors, as they do not provide any information related to investigation, citing the inquiry interests. Journalists, in turn, ask questions during each official meeting, while the law enforcers already seem to be tired to give them the same answer every time. The investigation is still underway, and I think there is no need to speculate on this matter. We will inform you when the investigation will end. Not only police, but the entire city needs to work on its image. Mayor Ahmedjan Yesimov believes that this will help to strengthen the power in Almaty. The official stated this during the meeting with the local residents. He also spoke about several know-hows, including the conversion of private villas and cottages into kindergartens.
Almaty Mayor Ahmedjan Yesimov reported about his work yesterday. The Palace of the Republic, which can hold 3,000 people, was overcrowded. Traditionally, Yesimov listed achievements including the average salary raise to $600 per month and the decision to turn a depressive Alatau district into an industrial zone. The problem of kindergartens was also solved with certain creativity. Many owners of mansions and cottages are ready to convert them into kindergartens, and we will support this. Calculations show that this will give us 39 additional kindergartens for 6,000 children. The mayor, however, did not explain who will pay for all of these plans. Instead, he promised to complete the subway project in 2010, solve the problem of construction shareholders in the next 2 years, and install the electronic tagging for garbage disposal. Yesimov also plans to gasify 3 districts. In general, the environment is now a priority for the mayor, while rent can soon replace mortgage and shared construction. The order of rental housing provision is the same as for any public communal accommodation, which means that 17 categories of citizens who are currently waiting their turn can obtain housing in administrations. Public activist Aynur Kurmanov looks at mayor's work with skepticism. He thinks that the local authorities are unlikely to cope with all problems. We have serious doubts that the mayor's promises will be fulfilled due to the worsening crisis and decline of revenues. Yesimov himself is very concerned about this problem. Once again, he raised the issue of special status for Almaty city. According to him, the strengthening of vertical power in the city will automatically solve several problems. Out of all topics discussed, Mayor chose this last one as his favorite.
Those responsible for the emergency in village Solnichny in eastern Kazakhstan have been punished. The chief engineer, chief power engineer, chief of boiler and the site master were all reportedly removed from their posts. Several employees of the heat-supplying organization Yenbek Oskemen, affiliated with the Penal System Commission, received reprimands or other punishments. Yenbek Oskemen will cover all repair costs and pay all bills for electricity used by local residents to warm up their houses during the downtime of the heating system. Zhangistobe village mayor and deputy administrator of Zharmynsky district, who is in charge of relevant affairs, received reprimands. Solnichny village was left without heating on January 11th. Meanwhile, Kazakh weather specialists predict even more cold weather until the end of February. A slight warming trend is on the way from 16th through 19th of February. During this time, the temperature will rise to 15 degrees above zero across the entire country. This, however, will be followed by new extreme colds. Weather forecasters say that frosts of -40 Celsius are not the all-time minimum for the country. On February 10th, 1983, Kazakhstan witnessed the air temperature in Akmola region drop to -52 degrees.
Cold air that formed over the Arctic ends up over the territory of Kazakhstan all the time and does not allow air masses from the Atlantic to enter the eastern and western Siberia as well as Kazakh territory.
The National Bank of Kazakhstan wants to monitor large money transfers and major exchange operations. The new rules will come into force starting March 9th of this year, when banks and exchange offices will have to report on anyone handling cash amounts of more than $10,000.
The finances of the population will be taken under the total control. The chief banker of Kazakhstan, Grigory Marchenko, proposes to amend the existing legislation. The innovations concern the cash and non-cash operations. All information about bank transfers in excess of $47,000 will be passed to the Financial Monitoring Committee.
Perhaps you are aware that the issue of who exactly will monitor this is being currently discussed. We believe that the income declarations can be used, but the General Prosecution Office has its own opinion about this.
The currency exchange offices will also have to share the information. They will report on anyone who exchanges more than $10,000. Businessmen say that this is a usual practice, as they always ask for documents when large amounts of money are being exchanged.
We have already done this before. We recorded all data when amounts over $10,000 were exchanged, but we never reported it to the Financial Control Committee. So far, we have not received any instructions from the National Bank.
The human rights defenders are skeptical about the innovations, recognizing the financial control as an infringement of privacy. Lawyers cite the example of a neighboring Uzbekistan, where similar measures led to the government blocking any funds wired by international funds to the accounts of public organizations. As a human rights activist, I think that this initiative involves a breach of human rights and privacy. Also, this initiative will cause many problems for employees of public organizations. Lawyers are confused by the phrasing of the new law on countering the financing of terrorism. Human rights defenders state that it will be practically impossible to prove that money will be spent with good intentions. Another reason for concern is the short development term of the law itself.
These were the latest updates from Kazakhstan. Thank you for being with us and goodbye.